Hello good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today I'm bringing my second impressions video for the brand new Tier 10 Soviet Battleship Kremlin. Alright, so the first impressions video, you guys got to see definitely the Kremlin at its peak. I continued playing for that night. I really wish I would have recorded more for that night, but my hard drive was kind of full. So throughout the night I had a lot of 3-4 kill games, well in excess of 200,000 damage. Never broke 300,000 damage, so it's not that insane. But I had some really good teams last night, and just some outstanding games in the Kremlin. That is in part to that I like to play close, and the Kremlin is very, very good at close range, very, very good at mid to close range. Definitely the best at close range. Definitely 6-7 kilometers in. Once you get that close to somebody, your guns are just absolutely laser accurate, and I am not joking. They are extremely just rail guns at that range, which is a fair trade for getting in that close to an enemy ship, especially something with torpedoes, which, unlike other battleships that are meant for brawling, like the Republic and the First, the Kremlin actually does have a really good torpedo protection at 46% damage reduction, so it's very good at that. I mean, if you eat a wall of torpedoes, don't get me wrong, you're going to be wrecked, but hey, you'll survive, probably get the kill, but your brawling for that game is probably done. But it can do that and survive, unlike the First or the Republic. Now, in this video, I'm going to try to talk a bit more about the downsides of the ship, which it's actually more than I originally thought. So, downside number one, the Citadel. It is up out of the water, clear as daylight for everyone to see. That being said, when I get Citadeled in the ship, it's usually surprisingly not too devastating unless it's from something like a First at close range. But at range, I have yet to be, and I played this ship straight just yesterday. This is all that I played. Straight all day, never got absolutely deleted with a Citadel shot. The only time that's happened to me so far is in the first impressions video when that Yami punches me in my face through my bow and I just got deleted. But it can be Citadeled, and it does happen to me fairly regularly. It's not like the Conqueror where it never gets Citadeled. And so if you show broadside to especially something like a Yami at range, you're going to get Citadeled, and up close to, well, anything. But it's just really happening with First because I'm going after First a lot because, well, it's really good at brawling. So yeah, there is that. That is, you need to watch that when you're playing. Definitely stay angled, and the second thing goes definitely hand in hand with the Citadel, is that the turret angles for the turret on the back when you are sailing forward, they are not that fantastic. You have to show a lot of the ship to get that third turret on target, and you're taking a huge risk of getting that Citadel exposed at that point in time. Same with Kite, and you have to turn the ship to get the front two turrets on target, and you have to show a significant amount of ankle to get those two guns on target. So again, it's fairly balanced there. Third thing, this thing is a whale when it comes to maneuvering. It's got a humongous turning circle, and my god, is this thing just so lethargic in maneuvering. This thing makes the First look like a rally car. Like, I am not kidding. I played the I tried the First out after playing this all day, and it's just, the First is more maneuverable than this thing. It is insane. So yeah, but still, so it's still good at brawling, and you just have to kind of plan your entry and exit strategy for dealing with a ship. You know, got to plan, how close am I going to get to him? How far away from him am I going to start turning? Because normally with the First, when I notice that they start turning, that's normally when I start turning, and I kind of do that little dance around them and delete them. Now, with the Kremlin, you kind of have to plan, okay, at 4 kilometers away, 3 kilometers away, 2 kilometers away, I'm going to start turning, depending upon what ship it is and how maneuverable it is. Often than not, when it's just a cruise, I just ram the suckers, because this thing has so much health that if you have the ramming flag equipped, it's kind of just like brushing off, running over a frog on the highway or something. It's really not that bad. So if the cruiser's something, just ram them. I mean, really, just get the ramming flag and just ram the suckers. it's that easy. But the guns though, the turrets with that 30-second rotation time, if you use the same build that I do. By the way, I'm still using the same build that I used in my first impressions video. So captain skills, preventive maintenance, MLG turrets. I do have BFT now. Then I have superintendent, adrenaline rush, and concealment expert. And for the modules, it's main armaments mod 1, damage con 1, aiming systems mod 1, damage con 2. Then I went with concealment and then the reload module for the main battery guns. So this build's working out really, really well for me, and it's still just rocking it. Okay, the fourth thing is the range. You do have a range of 20 kilometers. Will you hit anything at that range? Probably not if you're not shooting at something like the Kerr First or a Yami or a Montana, or a tier 10 battle. If you're not shooting at a tier 10 battleship or just a big ship at that range, you're not going to hit anything. Now, you may, even though if you do hit those battleships, you may land 1 or 2 shells, and they'll do a fair amount of damage, but it's not worth being spotted, because guess what? You're everyone's favorite target now. Now, this would be a bigger issue if the concealment of the ship wasn't so good. You have a 13.4 kilometer concealment range with a concealment build, so you can sometimes, when there's not a carrier involved, choose what targets you want to engage in those opening 10 minutes of a tier 10 game, because most tier 10 games go, it's 10 minutes of sniping. Once one team or the other has the advantage, then that team will push in, and that's when the Kremlin really shines. But for those first 10 minutes of the game, you should be probably getting into position, finding an island. If you want to engage them at that range, I would definitely find an island to kind of hide behind and keep maybe just your front 2 turrets poked out of and keep backing out and in with it, if you really want to get involved in those first 10 minutes. Or if not, just kind of roll with the team. And that does also go with the next thing about the ship, is that you have to have a decent team to do really, really well in this ship. I know there's probably, I've seen it on the Warships North America Facebook page. Plenty of people throwing around screenshots of 260, 270,000 damaged games in the Kremlin. And yes, that is easily possible if you have a good team. If you have a team that will push with you and engage the enemy at 13 kilometers in, you're going to do fantastic in the Kremlin. But if you have a team that sits back, like today, I've had a lot of those teams that just want to sit back and snipe and they don't want to push. It is infuriating trying to play the Kremlin at ranges of over 16 kilometers. You can barely hit anything, and once you do shoot, you're a massive target for everyone to retaliate with. And even when you do push in, if you can't even get anyone to push in with you, when you decide, well, guys, we need to cap something, you get targeted. And yes, this ship can take one hell of a beating, even though it does have one less damage repair, and it does have a limited number of damage cons. They both recharge so fast. If you had the captain skill or the flag, they recharge really, really fast. You can tank for a while, but it's usually ends pretty bad. You can only tank so much damage when you got 4 ships shooting at you. And that is probably the biggest thing with the Kremlin, is that you need a good team for this ship to really, really outperform. You can only do so much by yourself, and it's not quite as OP-ish as I originally thought in the first impressions video, because in the first impressions video I thought, oh my god, they're going to have to nerf this thing pretty soon. But after playing it for the past couple of days, it's really not as borderline OP. It's not as strong. It's strong, don't get me wrong, it is very freaking strong, but it's just heavily dependent upon your team. You can't do any crazy 1v7 situations with this ship. I mean, well, someone can. I'm sure there's a good enough player out there that can do that, but you really need a good team. I know I'm repeating it, but I cannot stress that enough. You need a good team. You need good communication. You need support with this ship, because it is so crucial for you to have a team that will spot, that will go with you, so the enemy has more than one thing to shoot at, and that will cover you and that will watch your flanks. You need a very good team in order for the Kremlin to just take off. Now, when you have that, the sky's the limit. It is an amazing ship when it is well supported. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the AA. A lot of people were complaining that why the hell does this thing have a 92 AA rating when Montana only has an 86, 82, 83 AA rating. Well, this thing doesn't have a fighter plane. It doesn't have any other consumable besides the damage con and repair. The only other ship that has that doesn't get that is the Conqueror at tier 10. A battleship, that is. So while it does have a very good AA rating for the on-deck AA, there is no fighter plane, or even a spotter plane for that matter. And that is kind of detrimental when you think about it, because a lot of planes being shot down now or through the fighter consumable. Yes, if you're in a Minotaur or a Worcester, it's your AA, but for most battleships, most of the planes that you shoot down is via your fighter plane. Now, with the AA on the Kremlin, I have been doing quite well, especially since I got BFT. If a carrier decides that they want to play with you, you'll probably take about 30 or 40 planes with them, with you on your way out, but they can get through to you and they can sink you if they're really, really freaking determined. But you will take a good chunk of planes with yourself on the way out. So it does have very good AA, and I can imagine with an actual AA build, it's probably quite terrifying, but still, no fighter consumable, so if they know how to dodge, if they're a really, really good CV player, then you're probably screwed, because that's just the way AA works now. But still, strong AA, not overpowered, but strong. So that is my second impressions of the Kremlin. It is still a very strong ship. I still like it, and I enjoy it. But it is not as strong as some people are stressing. It's not quite Russian bias, because you still need just really good teamwork for the ship to do those crazy 250,000 plus damage games, or just a lot of people that sell broadside onto you. Because my God, if you're in a battleship and you show broadside to a Kremlin, you're going to lose 25 to 40,000 hit points if you're that dumb, because of the velocity and the size of the shell. It's just going to rip right through your armor. Now, on the other side, if you're a cruiser and not a German cruiser, if you show broadside to a Kremlin at fairly close range, it's probably going to overpin you. That is one of the more frustrating things I've found out playing the past couple of days, is that just like the French battleships, this thing, because of the size of the shell and the velocity, it overpins the crap out of cruisers. I was shooting Cleveland from like 6 kilometers away in his Citadel. Overpins. Yay. It was really annoying, because he was selling broadside onto me, and I shot him with 457mm guns from 6 kilometers away. I expected him to be vaporized into a cloud of oil and confetti. He was not. He kept going. It was annoying. I know it's a game, but wargaming, that's really annoying. I want to punish him, but I can't. But it's the way the game works, so wait for those cruisers to angle or go bow on, then just punch them in the face, and you'll be alright. But it is frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's still a good ship. I still recommend it. It's definitely worth the grind. Now, will they nerf it? I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what the community has to say after this thing has been out for a while. It's not extremely game changing. It's just like a curve first, but with crappier secondaries but better guns. And it does only have 9 guns at tier 10, which, I mean, Miami is the only other ship at tier 10 that has 9 guns. Or if you go with the 457 Conqueror with 8 guns, but still, it fits in pretty well. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's not, I don't think it's taken the curve first place as the king of close range battleships, because it still doesn't have the secondaries and the armor to really just go for it. Like I said at the start of the video, its Citadel's exposed. Its secondaries are nothing really to write about. You know, you get 18 of them versus the curve first, pretty much like strapping a couple cruisers onto the side. And then you have the amount of guns that the curve first has, so secondary guns that the curve first has. But it can give the curve first a run for its money. But I still do feel the curve first does have the advantage at close range because of the secondaries and the fact that, well, curve first is nigh uncitadelable from close range. So A good ship. Doesn't throw the curve first off in my book. Not OP. I don't think it is, but it's very easy to see why a lot of people think it's OP. It's not quite there yet, but it is strong. Don't get me wrong. It's a strong ship when played right. And if you grind up to it, you should enjoy it. The grind should be pretty fun. You got a lot of fun ships going up to it. I'm going to start doing my review on this on the, oh lord, how do you say that shit? The tier 9, the Sovietsky Soyuz. I'm going to start my review on that pretty soon, so keep your eyes open for that. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers now. We are in the 2,600s now. That is amazing. Cannot thank you guys enough for that. Alright guys, hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. That's when this video will be coming out. And I hope to catch all of you guys in the next one.